Security and Sustainability Program recently released a major study on the impact of the U.S. Department of Defense on climate change. The United States consumes more petroleum, coal, natural gas, nuclear, and renewable energy each year than any other country on Earth. The study demonstrates how the Department of Defense is the single largest user, spending over $20 billion in energy costs annually. Just a 1% cut in consumption would save over $6 billion. This global green analysis starkly shows how energy has become a key determinant of our national and international strategic security planning.
Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, Global Green celebrated its 7th annual Oscar party. The evening raised both national and international awareness about the urgent need for smart solutions to climate change. Leonardo DiCaprio, Juliette Lewis, Serena Williams, Mia Maestro, Benji and Joel Madden, Good of Charlotte, James and Suzy Amos Cameron, amongst many others, lent their talent and celebrity to remind the world that we can make a difference about the imminent threats posed by global warming. Coast to coast, nationally and internationally, Global Green is busy raising awareness, igniting activism to address our most critical environmental challenges.
James Cameron and Suzy Amos Cameron are also great examples of inspiring national and international environmental awareness and activism. Suzy is the co-founder of the Muse Elementary School in Malibu, a learning environment where the core mission is to stimulate young minds with the awareness of their connection to the planet and all living things. Its focus is both local, serving the need for ecologically sound education in Los Angeles, and global, collaborating with international communities to provide mutual understanding and activism.
And there is no coincidence that James Cameron released the DVD of Avatar on Earth Day. On that day, he not only announced his plan to plant 1 million trees around the world, but he also said the following: with climate change dooming habitats all over the world, I do feel the sense of outrage. Out-freaking-rage. That's my own additive, by the way. And as an artist, and kind of my responsibility to create a warning and remind the people from every direction, I just want them to internalize a sense of respect and a sense of responsibility for the stewardship of the earth. And I think Avatar can do that, creating an emotional reaction. The highest grossing film of all time, Avatar, having an overwhelming visceral connection across the globe, is James Cameron's brilliant warning and reminder of the dire need to reconnect with our planet. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to present the 2010 Entertainment Leadership Award to James Cameron and Suzy Amos Cameron. They could not be here with us tonight, but have sent a video message accepting this award.
The image of the dead seabird drowned in black oil was plastered across the cover of Time magazine. That picture filled me with sorrow and horror, and the public reacted with outrage, demanding answers from the government and changes in offshore drilling policy. Sound familiar? That Time cover was in February of 1969, and the spill was off the coast of Santa Barbara. It was the moment that I personally woke up, the moment that I realized that human civilization was inexorably destroying the natural world. And this awakening created in me a lifelong call to action, to do what I could to stem the tide of destruction. The Santa Barbara spill is remembered as the ground zero of the environmental movement, and it led directly to the establishing of the EPA, which has now been in operation as the guardian of our nation's natural resources for 40 years. To put it in perspective, the Santa Barbara spill was pumping out 5,000 barrels a day, about a fifth of the current Gulf spill. The spill that's happening right now is an abomination. It's an out-of-control horror, and we can only hope that its legacy will be one of profound change. Let's hope this crisis will stir the nation to even greater action than the creation of Earth Day and the EPA back in 1970. Maybe it'll be the wake-up call we all need to shake us out of our collective societal stupor about global warming and our addiction to burning hydrocarbons that's causing it. Maybe this can be the beginning of real change, where we finally get off the oil tit and onto renewable energy like we should have been doing for the last 20 years. That call to action that I felt back then in 1969 has manifested itself now, 4 decades later, in the release of Avatar. Avatar is my personal statement about the impact we humans are having on the natural world. I used every trick I knew to make Avatar a big hit movie because I wanted to reach as many people as I possibly could around the world. And I wanted it to be a wake-up call and a call for change. Now look, I've got no illusions about how much good a single movie can do, but I do know that thousands of people around the world have reached out to us, to Suzy and me, after the release of the movie, saying how Avatar resonated with them. Many of them are involved in environmental groups or indigenous rights groups, and they saw Avatar as a way that public consciousness can be raised about their issues. So Suzy and I have found ourselves in the last few months working harder than we ever have with various groups and NGOs to try to affect change in public consciousness, change in government policy, not just in the US, but in other countries as well, such as Brazil, where the rainforest is being systematically destroyed and the indigenous populations are being uprooted and shoved aside by the bulldozer blades of so-called progress.
We are so proud to receive the Millennium Award for Global Green tonight, and we're grateful for this acknowledgement of our efforts, but accolades is not why we're doing this. Like all of you here tonight, we care about the world we are leaving to our children, and we're horrified by where things are heading. We do see signs of hope in the activism of people like you and organizations like Global Green, but we also know that now is the time to fight harder than ever, to raise the public out of its denial, to change the hearts and minds of government and industry, and to turn this thing around. Before our oceans collapse, our great forests are destroyed, and climate changes irrevocably, which will take an unimaginable toll in human suffering in generations to come. So thank you for this great honor. We're proud to be numbered among those who care and those who are doing something about it. So thank you, especially for all you are doing. And as the Na'vi say, may the Great Mother smile upon us all.